In the verdant lowlands of ancient Mexico, beneath layers of volcanic ash and centuries of silence, lies one of archaeology's most tantalizing mysteries. In 2006, construction workers building a road near the village of Lomas de Tacamichapan made a discovery that would rewrite the history of writing in the Americas. They unearthed a serpentine block weighing 25 pounds, covered with 62 mysterious symbols that appeared to be the earliest known writing system in the Western Hemisphere. But here's what makes this discovery truly extraordinary. This script predates all other known American writing by at least 3 centuries, yet it seems to have vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions that have divided the archaeological community for nearly 2 decades. The story of the Olmec script begins not with a single dramatic discovery, but with a pattern of enigmatic finds that slowly emerged from the jungles of southern Mexico throughout the 20th century. The Olmecs, often called Mesoamerica's mother culture, flourished between 1500 and 400 BCE in the tropical lowlands of what are now Veracruz and Tabasco. These remarkable people created the first large-scale architecture in the Americas, carved colossal stone heads weighing up to 50 tons, and established the foundation for later civilizations like the Maya and Aztec. But for decades, one crucial question remained unanswered. Did the Olmecs develop writing? The first hints emerged in 1862, when a massive stone head was discovered at Tres Zapotes. But it wasn't until 1939 that archaeologist Matthew Stirling found something truly remarkable. Half buried in the earth was Stela C, a carved basalt monument bearing the oldest long count calendar date then known, September 3rd, 32 BCE. More intriguingly, the back of the stela contained strange symbols that appeared to be an early form of writing, later classified as part of the Epi-Olmec or post-Olmec tradition. This discovery suggested that sophisticated writing systems had emerged in Mesoamerica far earlier than previously believed. But the true Olmec connection remained elusive. The breakthrough came in 2002 when archaeologist Mary Pole and her team, working near the Great Olmec Center of Venta, made an extraordinary find. Buried in layers of refuse dating to approximately 650 BCE, they discovered a cylinder seal and fragments of carved greenstone bearing what appeared to be genuine Olmec glyphs. These artifacts contained all the hallmarks of true writing: pictographic and glyphic elements representing speech, use of the sacred 260-day calendar, and clear connections to kingship and political power. For the first time, archaeologists had physical evidence that the Olmecs themselves, not just their successors, had developed a writing system. But the most sensational discovery was yet to come. The Cascajal Block, as it became known, was found in a pile of construction debris by road workers in the late 1990s. When archaeologists Carmen Rodriguez and Ponciano Ortiz examined the serpentine slab, they realized they were looking at something unprecedented. A text containing 62 symbols arranged in what appeared to be horizontal rows, dating to approximately 900 BCE. The block's surface showed clear evidence of ancient weathering, with mineralization inside the carved lines that ruled out modern forgery. High-resolution analysis revealed that the text had been created using 2 different stone tools, a blunted blade for outlines and a sharper one for internal details. What makes the Cascajal Block truly remarkable is its sophisticated structure. The text contains 28 distinct signs, with some appearing multiple times in specific sequences. 3 symbols repeat 4 times, 6 appear 3 times, and 12 occur twice, while 7 appear only once. This pattern suggests a complex system with grammatical rules rather than simple pictographs or random marks. The signs themselves appear to represent a mixture of concrete objects and abstract concepts. Some clearly depict corn plants, fish, insects, and tools, while others show geometric patterns and stylized motifs. The iconographic analysis reveals fascinating connections to broader Olmec culture. Several signs can be directly linked to motifs found on Olmec sculpture and ceremonial objects from sites like San Lorenzo and Venta. Sign 11, for example, displays a skyband pattern identical to decorations found on Olmec thrones, while paired signs suggesting royal mats and thrones may represent the earliest known poetic couplet in Mesoamerican literature. The corn-related symbols reflect the agricultural foundation of Olmec civilization, while signs depicting jade objects and ritual implements connect the script to the elite religious and political practices that defined Olmec society. Yet for all its apparent sophistication, the Olmec script presents archaeologists with a profound puzzle. Unlike later Mesoamerican writing systems, such as Maya hieroglyphs, which evolved continuously over centuries and can be traced through multiple developmental stages, the Olmec script appears to have vanished completely. No clear evolutionary link connects it to the Epi-Olmec Isthmian script that emerged several centuries later, despite their geographic proximity. This phenomenon, known as script death, has occurred elsewhere in human history, most famously with the Indus Valley script, which disappeared around 1900 BCE, only to be replaced by completely different writing systems centuries later. The scholarly debate over the Olmec script's authenticity and significance remains intense. Some researchers argue that the limited corpus of known texts, consisting primarily of the Cascajal Block and a few possible examples on ceremonial objects, makes decipherment virtually impossible. Critics point out that without bilingual texts or a clear understanding of the underlying language, any proposed readings remain highly speculative. The Epi-Olmec script, despite decades of study by leading epigraphers like John Justison and Terence Kaufman, remains only partially deciphered, with significant scholarly disagreement about proposed translations. However, other evidence strongly supports the existence of a true Olmec writing tradition. The discovery of similar symbols on figurines at Canton Corralito in Chiapas, dating to between 1150 and 1000 BCE, suggests that symbolic systems with writing-like properties were emerging across the Olmec world during this period. The careful preparation of the Cascajal Block's writing surface, which had been smoothed to create an erasable document that could be reused, indicates a sophisticated understanding of textual production. Most compelling of all, the script displays all the formal characteristics of true writing: a consistent signery, repeating sequences, linear organization, and apparent syntactic structure. The mystery deepens when we consider the broader context of Olmec civilization. These people possessed the technological and social complexity necessary to support a writing system. They quarried and transported massive stone monuments across hundreds of miles, created sophisticated drainage systems, and maintained far-flung trade networks that brought them jade from Guatemala and obsidian from central Mexico. Their art demonstrates a complex religious and political ideology centered on divine kingship, precisely the kind of institution that typically gives rise to written records. If any early Mesoamerican culture was capable of developing writing, it was surely the Olmecs. The linguistic analysis of later Epi-Olmec texts provides another crucial piece of the puzzle. Justison and Kaufman's decipherment attempts suggest that these later scripts recorded languages from the Misse-Zoquian family, which is still spoken in the former Olmec heartland today. If this identification is correct, it implies linguistic continuity between the Olmec period and later times, making it entirely plausible that the earlier Olmec script recorded an ancestral form of the same language. The vocabulary reconstructed from Epi-Olmec texts includes words for corn, kingship, and ritual practices that align perfectly with what we know about Olmec culture from archaeological evidence. Perhaps the most intriguing possibility is that the Olmec script represents only the tip of an iceberg. The acidic soils of the Gulf Coast lowlands preserve stone monuments remarkably well, but destroy organic materials like wood, bark, and textile. Evidence from the nearby El Manatee site shows that the Olmecs were skilled woodworkers who created sophisticated ritual objects from perishable materials. If the majority of Olmec texts were carved in wood or painted on bark paper, as was common in later Mesoamerican cultures, then the archaeological record would preserve only a tiny fraction of their literary output. The Cascajal Block might represent a rare survival of what was once a rich and diverse textual tradition. The implications of Olmec writing extend far beyond academic debates about dates and decipherment. If confirmed, it would mean that the Americas developed writing independently and at roughly the same time as other regions of the world where this innovation occurred. The traditional narrative of New World cultural development has long emphasized the supposed lag between Old and New World achievements. But the Olmec script suggests that American civilizations were far more precocious than previously believed. This finding joins other recent discoveries that have revolutionized our understanding of early American complexity, from the sophisticated urban planning of Corral in Peru to the astronomical observations recorded at sites like Nabta Playa in Egypt. The search for additional Olmec texts continues across southern Mexico, with archaeologists using new technologies to identify possible writing on previously discovered artifacts. Several objects long held in museum collections, including the Tlaltenco celt and Humboldt celt, may bear early Olmec glyphs that were not recognized as such when they were first found. Ground-penetrating radar and LiDAR surveys are revealing dozens of previously unknown Olmec sites across the Gulf Coast lowlands, any of which might contain the bilingual texts or extended inscriptions needed to crack the code of America's first writing system. Yet even as new discoveries emerge, fundamental questions remain unanswered. Why did the Olmec script disappear so completely, leaving no clear descendants among later Mesoamerican writing systems? Was it truly a fully functional writing system capable of recording the full range of human speech? Or did it represent an intermediate stage of proto-writing, limited to specific ceremonial or administrative purposes? And perhaps most tantalizingly, what stories did those mysterious symbols tell about the people who created them? The Olmec script remains one of archaeology's greatest unsolved mysteries, a tantalizing glimpse into a lost world of kings and scribes, rituals and records that flourished in the American tropics over 3 millennia ago. Whether it represents humanity's earliest experiment with writing in the New World, or simply an elaborate system of symbolic notation, may never be fully resolved. But its very existence challenges us to reconsider our assumptions about the development of human civilization, and reminds us that the story of writing, like the story of humanity itself, is far more complex and remarkable than we ever imagined. What secrets do you think those ancient symbols might hold? And could there be other examples of early American writing, still waiting to be discovered in the unexplored corners of the Mesoamerican world?